So this headline was something like, dentists refuse to fix vampires' teeth. So my title is, The Time a Vampire Came to Have His Teeth Fixed. He was particularly polite, paused at the door and waited to be invited inside. I have to confess, until he opened his mouth, that's when I fainted. I was extremely impressed with his sleek black hair, very expensive suit, and powerful handshake. I thought he was really cutting edge. And then I wondered what would have happened if the Virgin Mary had said no. And then I wondered whether other women had been approached by the angel and had said no themselves. So this is called A Son is Born. When he appeared, wings clattering like cracking branches, I was terrified. Tried to flee into my own shadow. In a voice of clanging brass and tinkling silver, he offered me great honour. There would be danger and sorrow, perhaps, but he stressed the reward of sitting at God's right hand. Or was it the left? I forgot. You don't know what you're asking, I told him. I'd rather your God struck me dumb, struck me dead. Give birth to a child, then let him be snatched from my arms to be tortured and murdered. What do you take me for? That was a long time ago. My boy's grown to a man, good with his hands, strong and gentle. I watch him content with his duties, ploughing our field. I don't have to wait for his death, resurrection. Judas has always made me proud. Well, another sort of well-known story. This is a well-known fairy story, at least I hope you all know this story. I'm sure you do. But it's told from somebody else's perspective, a normal perspective, bless you. And it's in the form of 2 letters. It's called Dear Mum. I don't know how it happened. I made the bed the way you taught me, meticulous to the point of perfect symmetry. Smooth the silk sheets, calmed the wrinkles with my palm, honed hospital corners straight as glass, a treat for the tenderest ass. No one's ever complained before, so how did it happen? I say that so-called princess, Lady La-di-da, must have invented it. Lock, stock, and Lucina's barrel. Marriage was on her agenda, and that's what I told my employer. But he took offence, and now I'll never get a decent reference. Love, Brenda. Dear B, I'm so sorry, but don't worry, I've got you a job. The 7 dwarfs next door tell me they're desperately short of a cleaner since their last one ran off with some toff. No, not. Well, this is a true story, every bit of it. Sorry, can you hear me? It's about how an event can evoke feelings about past events that you thought you'd forgotten or totally got over, but obviously I never got over this. It's called Not Me. Outside the greengrocer's the other day, a stranger holding a simple red rose smiled and advanced in my direction. It was like that advertisement for Specs, where the girl running towards her lover stops and kisses the old guy just in front of him. The man with the flower wasn't good looking, in fact he was rather dumpy. But when he marched right past, I was surprised to feel my solar plexus plummet. Suddenly there I was, 13 years old again, pale blue Alice band thrust through back-combed hair, being chatted up by a boy at my new youth club. The next week I went back. He waved across the room and I responded, heart hammering. You already know what happened. One is so short it's almost a haiku. It's called Apsara Heaven. What wasted bronze dancers in temple alcoves, tilting heel, elbow, hip at the sky. Polished breasts reveal where devout young fingers have strayed. Oh, I'm a bit shy of doing this one. Oh well. Here goes.
You shy.
Yes, definitely. It's called In the Shed. There are many ways to keep the weeds down, said the gardener, resting his foot on a spade. They banned most of them, but I've kept some hidden. He took hold of my arm, guided me to his shed, dark in the shrubs at the back of the garden. Blackbirds were shrieking. I saw worms writhing. Locking the door behind me, he said, the rats round here are too cunning by half. They try to get out if you give them an inch. He spread a slimy cloth on a bench. Sit down and I'll show you something quite special, the one they always like in the end. He reached over my head and lifted a bottle that glowed poison blue, though there wasn't much light. I'll tell you a secret. I sometimes sip it. It makes me stronger. It gives me a high. He poured me a tumbler, but I wouldn't drink it. He smiled and pulled off my skirt and my jumper, picked up the glass and took a large mouthful, drew me towards him, tongued open my lips. The liquid plunged through my heart to my belly. I lay back on the bench, said, yes, yes, yes!
Whoa.
Yes! 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 Sorry, I forgot what it was. I was with you all the way in that one, Marian.
Sorry?
I was with you all the way in that one.
Okay, well this poem came from its rhythm. I was just trying out the rhythm and dance immediately came to mind. You couldn't do anything else but dance for this one. So it's called Terrace House Performer. Come watch this woman who dances like silk. How she lifts her arms high and entrances. Look at her man whose belly just burns when he sees all those shadow men lurking. He knows when her curtains are open, they see her, the light shining down on the twist of her hips. She knows that they're drooling like dogs when they stare, and she laughs when her man says, stop, I can't take this. Nothing will stop her, she thinks in her glory. Nothing can stop her enjoying the game. Nothing can stop her whirl through the kitchen. Not even the sight of the the smell of the roast turned to ashes. Not even the sight of the blade. Threw in that one.
I think we were still all stunned after the yes, yes one. We hadn't recovered. You had recovered, but we hadn't.
I'm going to do the last four lines again because I got it wrong. Nothing will stop her, she thinks, in her glory. Nothing can stop her enjoying the game. Nothing can stop her whirl through the kitchen. Not even the smell of the roast turned to ashes. Not even the sight of the blade. Right, well, I was looking at the statue of an angel, and the first line came right into my brain, and it wouldn't go away, and the rest kind of followed. But this angel was definitely not a blessing. It's called How I Got Rid of the Angel of Judgment. I ate an angel for breakfast. He was hiding inside a runny yolk. I gulped, and he slid down my throat. He scrambled back into my mouth and uttered words that seemed profane. I spat them out, they were obscene. He sat at the back of my eyes. I saw a world of sin and poison, absorbed his thoughts of Armageddon. I blinked, but he blocked every tear, then plunged right down inside my chest, purged my heart and singed my breath. Wings sharp as needles pricked my bowels. The pain was torture. I released my sphincter. And that, of course, was when he fell, my excremental elemental. I have been told that that is the only poem known with the word sphincter in it.
Is it a challenge?
Sorry?
Is it a challenge?
This poem came from an image I saw that I felt could represent something deeper, an emotion. It's called Hanging On. You could tell it was an expensive suit by the way the jacket eased across his chest as he raised his hand to brush away a strand of hair. He stood beside the woman in the yellow gauzy dress, not looking at her, not looking at anything, but a fine vertical brow, a fine vertical line creased his brows, as if a chisel had carved it in one stroke. There was a large brown butterfly, almost perfectly camouflaged, perched between his shoulder blades, a dark blind eye painted on each closed wing. After the train had departed the station, the man didn't move, but when the sound of the train had diminished until it became only the memory of a sound, the butterfly opened its wings, revealing a blueness deeper than sky, or sea, or grief. Now this is again a very well-known story, and this lady is very well known to most people, but I kind of wanted to know a bit more about her, so I asked her about her childhood, and this is what she said. Lady Macbeth's childhood. I was always cold. Even the summer sun couldn't penetrate our walls. I was always alone. Ghosts howled at night, and the ravens were hoarse. My father was always carapaced in armour, waiting for war, searching for war. When I called for my mother, her eyes were grey rocks. I should have been a boy, she said. Finally, this is another true poem, almost true anyhow, with a few embellishments, but not much. And it's about a colleague I had who was so very, very English and so very, very proper, and yet, view from an English winter. I had a friend, clear-skinned, pink-cheeked, a science teacher. She met a man on holiday in Turkey, on a beach. He smiled, she blushed. She spoke no Turkish. He didn't speak a word of English. He was a carpenter. I told her that it wouldn't last. I stayed with them 4 months ago in August. Their villa overlooks the sea, and in their garden, jasmine twines round juniper. He has erected shelves where they display photographs of their 2 cats, 3 daughters, and 5 grandchildren.